respected Prashant G, respected Sunita Ji, respected teachers, dear students and guests present here today, I offer my humble pranams to all my gurus and teachers as I welcome you all to the Institute for the auspicious occasion of Hanuman Jayanti. We will begin with the invocation to Patanjali and Hanuman. योगेन चित्तस्य पदेन वाचां मलं शरीरस्य च वैद्यकेन योपाकरोत्तं प्रवरं मुनीना पतञ्जलिं प्राञ्जलिरानतोऽस्मि आवाहुपुरुषाकारं शङ्खचक्रासिधारणं सहस्रशिरसं स्मितं प्रणमामि पतञ्जलिं गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुर्देवो महेश्वरः गुरुर्साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः मनोजवं मारुततुल्यवेगं जितेन्द्रियं बुद्धिमतां वरिष्ठं वातात्मजं वानरयूथमुख्यं श्रीरामदूतं शरणं प्रपद्ये हरि ओम्। In the Bhagavad Gita, in chapter 10, verse 25, Krishna says, Yajnanam japa yajnosmi. Of all the yajnas and sacrifices, the divine is most manifest in japa. Hindu deities have many names, and each name encapsulates a divine quality, a cosmic function, or a devotional sentiment. These names provide multiple ways for devotees to connect with God and explore spiritual meanings. And divine names carry vibrations, and when these are chanted with dhyana, it accelerates our spiritual journey. In our tradition, devotees call upon deities in many ways, depending on the emotions they wish to express. For example, in moments of strength, Hanuman is called Bajrang Bali. In times of seeking knowledge, Saraswati is called Vidya Daini. When praying for protection, Durga is called Mahishasur Mardini. And this personalization strengthens the devotee's connection with the divine. Likewise, Hanuman also has 108 names. For example, Anjaneya, son of Anjana, Mahavira, strong and powerful, Sita Devi Mudra Pradayaka, deliverer of Lord Rama's ring to Sita, Sarva Maya Vibhanjana, destroyer of all illusions, and so on. Last year, we journeyed into some of these 108 names of Hanuman, not as mere chants or titles, but as doorways into his strength, humility, wisdom, and unwavering devotion. Each name unfolded a story, and each story revealed a value, a virtue, and brought into light a unique aspect of this Paripurna Yogi, the embodiment of Jnana, Karma, and Bhakti. Hanuman was no longer a distant figure of mythology. He was near us, alive, mirrored in a life we revere every day. And as we listened, we found those same echoes in the life of our beloved Guruji, his quiet courage, his boundless energy in service, and his deep compassion. I now invite Srineet Sir to continue telling us the amazing stories of Hanuman through the remaining names.
So today is Hanuman Jayanti, as we know. It's a very auspicious day. And auspicious in the sense of it's very sweetly auspicious. Okay, auspicious can also be very pure and very stern, very austere. But the Hanuman Jayanti is special because there is this underlying sweetness. So it's a very sweetly auspicious day, and that is the very essence of the deity. He is everyone's favorite, right? Children, old people, men, women, businessmen, students, soldiers, warriors. Hanuman is a deity covering everybody. Right? So there's a sort of all-encompassing characteristic to Hanuman. From a point of view of yoga also, he is paripurna. You look at anything, abhyasa, you can find it in Hanuman. Vairagya, find it in Hanuman. Karma yoga, in Hanuman. Jnana, in Hanuman. Bhakti. So he is an embodiment of everything that is there in yoga. Even aspects of the Vibhuti Pada, which we'll probably cover if some of the names come along the way. And last time, if you remember, after the talk, so we covered a few names. And my uncle Prashant has said that usually when we are devoted, we will ask the Lord for something. Right? But Hanuman was different. He gave the Lord. Right? So his devotion was giving the Lord his help and assistance. And in Ramayana, Rama actually acknowledges that. He says, Hanuman, you've done so much for me. What can I or the entire Raghuvamsha give you back? Okay, not just him. What can the entire Raghuvamsha? So all I can do is come to you and please accept my embrace. Right? And he embraces him in, I think, the first sarga of the Yuddha Kanda, after Hanuman has come back. So here the Supreme Lord is coming to his devotee and saying, I cannot pay back the debt that all the deeds that you have done for me, so please accept my embrace. Okay, so that's sort of the level of bhakti that Hanuman has demonstrated. We also know that Hanuman is the son of Vayu. He is the embodiment of pranayam, Vayu, Pavana, and so on. We have heard in the classes recently, Prashant Uncle's classes, etc., how essential, how central it is to yoga. In yoga, if you look at some of the texts, the pranayam fructifies into pratyahara. Okay, so it is not a different anga. So it says, okay, pranayam, when it goes continuously to such an extent, it becomes pratyahara. Pratyahara becomes dharana. Dharana becomes dhyana, dhyana becomes samadhi. So it is a continuum, okay? It is not a demarcation from pranayam to, these are not steps, there is a continuum. So when we say Hanuman is a central deity embodiment of pranayam, it is covering the entire spectrum of yoga, okay? The other aspect of pranayam, of course, about bringing about yoga, is bringing the jivatma to the paramatma. Sanyoga yoga ityukto jivatma paramatma noho. We know that. So joining or bringing together the jivatma and paramatma. And in Adhyatma Ramayana it is said, Hanuman brings Rama and Sita together as the paramatma and the Shakti. So this sanyoga is being brought about by Hanuman. So there is an esoteric aspect to Hanuman's character that is very central to yoga. Okay. And that explains why we also have Hanuman at sort of the apex of the institute, overseeing the entire institute. And in fact, in the old days, there were no stairs to go up, and you probably have seen photographs of Guruji climbing with a rope to go to Hanuman from the upper hall. Right? There's a photo with my brother Kaushik in his arms. And I'm told, I was probably not born, but my mother and aunts were all scared because Guruji is carrying Kaushik in one hand, holding the rope in the other hand, going to Hanuman. But that is how much Guruji had sort of special devotion or special regard for Hanuman at the top of the institute. Hanuman is also in the temple of Bellur. Right? One of the oldest Bellur temples, it is actually Hanuman. And for us as children, our introduction to Bellur, because there was nothing else there at the time, there was the village. So for us, the Bellur meant the Hanuman temple in Bellur. Okay? Probably you know about the temple there that still stands, and anybody who visits Bellur typically will go to the temple. There will be a puja, archana, etc. done there. The other thing I remember today, probably exactly 20 years ago, plus or minus a few months. Okay? And Mugdha and I were sort of probably married for just over a year at the time. So we went to Guruji and said, why not let's all go to a movie in the theaters. Okay? And normally Guruji won't come to these movies. And I said, we'll take the whole family, we'll buy the tickets for you. And he said, okay. And if I remember right, my uncle Prashant, aunt Geeta, everybody. So I remember standing in the line buying some 14, 16 tickets. And the entire family went to E Square and watched a movie. That movie was Hanuman. Okay? There was a cartoon animated feature released at that time. Yeah. And we saw that movie Hanuman there. So all of us going, Iyengar family going to a movie and watching theaters and watching movie, I think only Hanuman can bring that about, when nobody else could have done. So that's the power that you can see in the deity that we are talking about today. So what we are doing as part of this is, we are going through the names of Hanuman. We started last time, Ashtottara Shatanama Stotram, and that is a format highly revered in the tradition, Sahasranamam, Shatanama Stotram, and so on. So the Nama has a very special characteristic. Okay? So we have to sort of probably also understand where that comes from. And I might have touched upon it last time, but it's still sort of important to know. So in one of the oldest among the Upanishads, the Chandogya Upanishad, it is said that the divinity, Brahma, it is, in the beginning, there is only the divinity. Okay? And then the divinity thinks, Bahusyam Prajayaya iti. So it is not like it is the divine is creating. He said, let me become many. Okay? Which means all this creation is divinity itself. Okay? So let me become many. That is Bahusyam Aikshata Bahusyam Prajayaya. So let me become many. And then he says Hanta. So Hanta is like an exclamation in Sanskrit. Okay? Or in English we'll maybe say damn it or whatever. So he says Hanta. Anena jivena atmana anupravishya nama rupe vyakaravani. So he says through this form of a jiva having entered, let me unfold the nama and the rupa. Okay, so now this is very interesting because he doesn't say let me become many, let me create a creation. He says nama and rupa, name and form, both of them are coming together. So what it means is whatever exists, it has an inherent nameability. Okay, so in Nyaya Shastra, that is known as Abhideyatvam. So Abhideyatvam is a jati, it is called. It's a characteristic that is present in everything. Okay, so it's very fascinating if you think about it, because whatever is created, it is jada. Jada means insentient. Okay, and there is a very nice definition, but then we'll be digressing too much. So this is jada. But along with whatever was created, even though material and insentient, the ability for consciousness to reach it through the name is very part of the fabric of creation. So Nama and Rupa has come both together. Okay? So there is nothing that cannot be named, and vice versa. Okay? So Nama Rupe Vyakaravani, and Vyakaravani means sort of unfold according to certain rules and framework. So that is why Vyakaranam, we say it is grammar. It is slightly deeper in this thought. So when we are going through the names, okay, we are actually, these names have so every pada means a term, every pada is said to have a Shakti. And that Shakti is about artham prakashayati. So it brings about the meaning to consciousness. Okay, for consciousness to know the meaning, it is inherent in the word, it is said. So when we are uttering the names or thinking of the names, it is sort of the artha is directly denoted, whether we realize it or not. And therefore, see, even in the Yoga Sutras, we talk about, Patanjali talks about Chitta, Purusha, and so on. Then he unfolds yoga. He said samadhi, sampragnata samadhi, asampragnata samadhi. And asampragnata samadhi is so difficult to reach, he says. And then suddenly there is a sutra that says Ishvara pranidhanat va. Okay? Through Ishvara pranidhana you may reach it. Now all of a sudden this term Ishvara comes. So far it's not been there. So Vyasa asks, Koyam Ishvara. Now what is this Ishvara that has suddenly been introduced? Right? So then Patanjali defines, okay, this is Ishvara, this is the meaning and so on. Then he says, Tad japas tadartha bhavanam. Okay? So he says both things. There is a japa and artha bhavanam. Both are required. So artha bhavanam means pondering on the meaning of divinity, and the meaning of divinity is the entire Vedic corpus. Okay? That is a huge thing. But the japa also, just the sound form, the term, the mantra also is significant. So he doesn't just say artha bhavana, tad japas tad artha bhavanam. Okay, so the name, the sound of the name also has significance in this thought. I mean, if I were to sort of give a worldly sort of constructed analogy, okay. So let's say we are going with a child, a 5-year-old child, and we go to a medical shop, right? And we give the child some money and say, go to the shop and say krosin, right? And he will give you and you will come back. So the child has not done any artha bhavanam. The child doesn't know what is this krosin, okay. So he follows, he goes to the shop, he says krosin, he gets the tablet, he comes back. Similarly, in Indian thought, if you say one of the mantras, if you say Om Namo Narayana, you may not know what it means, okay? But the very sound carries, just like the child doesn't know what krosin or paracetamol means. He goes to the shop, the thing gets done. Similarly, when you recite the name of the Lord, the grace of the Lord comes, whether you know the meaning or not, okay? So there is a big debate in the ancient thought, is the meaning more important or the sound more important, okay? So there is a significance to the namas in addition to the meaning. The very sound also has that significance as per the Indian thought. And that is similar to how the analogy was given, right? So if you say, oh, Hanuman, you may not know what it means, but the grace of the Hanuman is now open to you because that reaches the ear as per that thought, okay? And that is why all the names have meanings. It is not proper nouns as we call it in English. Here, these are constructed words as per the rules of Panini, and so everything has a meaning. And therefore, there is a Shabda Prapancha and Artha Prapancha. So just like there is this whole creation and the Prapancha, which physical laws and everything that is working, there is a Shabda Prapancha of conscious thought. And that is the philosophy behind the Vyakaranam, of how the words are formed, so there is a structure to the conscious thought, and both exist. So therefore in Vishnu Puranam, it says Chittastho Vishnu. So there is a Vishnu outside, Vishnu all-pervading, but there is a Vishnu that comes in the Chitta when you utter the name. Okay? So the language, the conscious thought, etc., has its own world that corresponds to the actual, what we call actual. Okay? That is, and therefore the Shabda is said to be Nityam. Shabdaha Nityaha. Okay? And therefore when we recite these names, there is a sort of inherent significance to doing so. Just knowing that, just understanding that makes our recitation deeper when we do that. Okay, actually there is a lot to say, but not enough time. So essentially, what we are doing when we recite these names is a smaranam and stavanam. Okay? We think of the Lord, we praise the Lord, and because of the names that are used, even the Vishnu Sahasranama says, Yani namani gaunadi vikhyatani mahatmanaha rushibhif parigitani. So these are not arbitrarily constructed names. These are names used by rishis. Who is a rishi? A rishi is the one to whom Shruti is revealed. Okay? Rishi is one who can see. Okay? So he doesn't compose. The rishi doesn't create. It is revealed to the rishi. So these names are Rishibhif Parigitani. They have come through the rishis. In the Yoga Sutra it is said, when does this happen? In Nirvichara Samapatti, it says, this bija gets created. That is where the revelation takes place. So see how all of these are linked so much, all these frameworks of understanding. The only thing is we can talk so much about it that we'll never get to the nama. But it's good to have some kind of a background of what is there. Of course, when we recite these namas, bhakti is implied. Okay? So what is bhakti? Ramanuja says, Sneha Purvaka Anudhyanam. So There is anudhyanam, we are thinking about it, following what is being said. But sneha purvaka, there is a certain love that is implied. Just like there is a Yoga Sutra, there is a Bhakti Sutra. So in the Shandilya Bhakti Sutra, it says, Sa para anuraktir ishvare, that is Bhakti. So what is Bhakti? Sa para, she is the supreme. Bhakti is feminine, and that's the Sa para. Anuraktihi, anurakti means anuraga. Anuraga means something that touches, that influences, that colors. Okay? Ishvare, when that is done to the divinity, it becomes Bhakti. So it is in that spirit of Bhakti that we are we recite these names, we go through this. So when we are all together here, let the spirit of Bhakti also emerge in our minds. Okay? And that is when there is some fruition to what we are doing, rather than a sort of an intellectual talk where something is being heard and analyzed. Okay? So Bhakti is essential to this process. How do we know whether Bhakti is happening or not? Again, Shandilya says, Tat parishuddhischa gamya lokavad lingabhya. So just like in the worldliness, loka means normal world. There are some signs that love is taking place. Suppose a beloved is talking, somebody, let's say a young lady is talking about her beloved. You will see some blush in the cheeks. Right? So that is a linga. So from that, the anuraga can be detected. Suppose a mother is talking about her little child. Right? The mother cannot stop talking, constantly saying, oh, this is how he plays, this is how he troubles me, this is how he does that. But there's constant thought about the little child. The love is directly evident. Right? So that is lokavad lingebhya. Similarly, if you could see Guruji talking about yoga, the eyes used to light up. Right? So we used to see that so often. Sometimes after travel and so on, he used to be tired, coming home. But once he goes on stage, he's conducting a class, it completely changes. The eyes are lit. So you can see that bhakti to yoga is very inherent, okay, in Guruji. Yoga also is a name of the Supreme Lord. Yogo yoga vidam neta pradhana purusheshvara in the Vishnu Sahasranam. So it is one of the namas. So again, para anurakti ishvare. So all of this, we should see that the bhakti emerging is parallel on how worldly love might be there, but it is channeled to divinity. And that is why the parishuddhi is there. Tat parishuddhishcha gamya lokavad lingebhyaha. Okay. So I think let's continue. I think last time I covered 5 verses. Let's start with the 6th verse. Before we start, I'll just quote a verse from one of the Vanaras. There's one of the Vanaras called Sumukha. Very beautiful quote, so it's good to start it with that. So he addresses the tongue. Okay? And you might have heard in my uncle Prashant's classes, tongue, he says, is the biggest enemy to the Adhyatma. Okay? Very difficult to control the tongue. In fact, even in yoga, there are some mudras or bandhas specific to the Kechari mudra about the tongue. In one of the texts, there is a variant of Mula Bandha that talks about the tongue. The tongue is a very, it's an enemy for Adhyatma, very difficult to control, and you have to take care of it. So this Vanara called Sumukha, he addresses the tongue. He says, Rasane rasasaragnye. Rasana means tongue. Okay? So he says, oh Rasane rasasaragnye. You who know the essence, the rasa of everything. Okay? Oh tongue. Madhurasvada kankshini. Oh, one who always wants to have sweet juice. Madhura, sweet taste. Rasane rasasaragne madhurasvada kankshini Hanuman nama piyusham sarvada rasane piba. So what you do, the nectar which is the Hanuman nama. Okay, Hanuman nama piyusham. Piyusham means nectar. Nectar, amritam, etc. is very sort of highly exalted in Indian thought. So many stories of Garuda fighting and getting the amrita, Devas fighting for the amrita, and so on, right? Devas and Danavas. So Amrita is like supreme. So he says Hanuman Nama Piyusham. Hanuman Nama itself is Amritam. Hanuman Nama Piyusham Sarvada Rasane Piba. Constantly drink that, oh tongue. Okay? Then I can get you in control. Hanuman can get the tongue in control, and then that can open the gate to Adhyatma. Okay? So with that sort of let's follow this Vanara's command, okay, and sort of begin with. So I'll directly jump to the 6th one, because I think we covered the first 5. So now we are starting the Ashtottara Shatanama Stotram. So we go name by name. So the sixth is Capishwaro Mahakaya Sarvarogahara Prabhu Balasiddhikara Sarva Vidya Sampat Pradayakaha. So this is a sort of a collection of names put in a certain meter for rhythm. So first one incidentally for today is Capishwara. A slightly odd one to start with. Kapi means monkey or ape. Capishwara means Lord of the monkeys. So now when we recite that name, that should sort of come in our minds. So come in again, smart digression. See again, as per Yoga Shastra, Sankhya Yoga, whenever we think of something, whenever there is a certain cognition, it is said as though the chitta takes that shape, takes the form of that. Okay, so the chitta becomes that. Okay, and when it happens perfectly, that is samapatti. Chitta takes the form of that, and that is presented and reflected to the Purusha, and that is known as Paurusheya Bodha. So if there is no Raja and Tama, that is perfectly sattvic, and that goes to Samapatti and Sampragnata Samadhi. So that is how that works. So in this case, when we say Capishwara, in our minds, the meaning of that, okay, in Samadhi what happens? Arthamatra Nirbhasa. There is just the meaning. The fact that it is a knowledge, that also is forgotten. Okay? But to some extent, in later, our chitta also take that shape or form, so that that is reflected. So Capishwara, Lord of Capis, Lord of monkeys. Kapi also has some other tones, like one of the name of Narayana, the Supreme Lord, is also Kapi. Sanat, Sanatana, Tamaha, Kapila, Kapiravyayaha. So that is Kapi. So that is also where it comes. So Hanuman was a monkey and an ape. And there were several of these monkeys and apes that were created by the celestials to help Rama as per Brahma's command. Brahma says, Srujadvam Harirupena Putrans Tulya Parakraman. So that is a command that Brahma gives. He says, oh, all you celestials, you have come to Vishnu for help. You create your progeny or children or whatever. Harirupena. Hari also means monkey. Okay. So Harirupena Putrans, children of same Parakrama, Tulya Parakraman. Okay. So that is how Hanuman is born. Marutasya aurasaha Shriman Hanuman Nama Vanaraha. So he is a Aurasaha Putra, means not a biological son, because Hanuman is the son of Kesari and Anjana. But he is, so Aurasaha Putra means he has the influence of Vayu, and he is the son of Marut. So Hanuman Nama Vanara, so he is a monkey. Now once we know Hanuman is a monkey, we know that monkeys are fighting, they're throwing trees and throwing rocks, but there is also some monkey business that has to happen. So Ramayana Valmiki makes sure that the monkey aspect of Hanuman is also shown of all the Vanaras. So when Hanuman finds Sita, that's a huge thing. He goes to Lanka and there's a big story, he finds Sita, he comes back. And he has accomplished the mission. So now they are all very happy. Before that, they were very dejected. They were in a depression. Should we kill ourselves or what to do? So that was their discussion. But once Hanuman has found them, now they can go back happily. So then they go back to report back to Sugriva, Lakshmana, and everyone's there. But on the way, they come to this place called the Madhuvana. Madhuvana is a forest, Aranya, where there is a lot of honey. But Vana does not mean a wild forest. It means a forest under guard. Okay, it's like a sort of a wild garden. So it is under the care of Dadimukha, and there is a lot of honey. And all these monkeys come there, and now they're enjoying there and doing all the monkey business. And that is also very picturesquely sort of depicted in the Ramayana. So I'll just quote some verses. So Gayanti kechit, pranamanti kechit, nrityanti kechit, prahasanti kechit. So some of them are singing, some of them are dancing, some of them are sort of prostrating, some of them are teasing each other. Patanti kechit, vicharanti kechit, plavanti kechit, pralapanti kechit. Some of them are falling, some of them are jumping about, some of them are flying in the air, and some of them are constantly talking, pralapanti. Druma drumam kechit abhiplavante. From tree to tree they are jumping around. Kshitau naga agran nipatanti kechit. They are uprooting the trees and throwing them to the ground. So essentially they are destroying that whole forest. Mahitala kechi udirna vega mahadruma agrani abhisampatante. So essentially they are throwing things around, jumping around, creating a lot of noise. This Dadimukha is shocked. He didn't expect. Suddenly there is a bunch of these strong monkeys coming and they are destroying my forest. So he runs to Sugriva and Lakshmana and he complains. He says, what is this happening? Under your rule, Sugriva, this thing that I have taken care of for so long, suddenly these monkeys are coming and destroying. And he complains, he is assuming there will be a big punishment that is coming. On hearing that, Sugriva and Lakshmana are extremely happy. They say, Vanam yatha abhipannam taihi saditam karma vanaraihi. Hearing that they have reached this forest and the way they are behaving there, Drushta Devi na sandeho. Surely they have found the Devi Sita. There is no doubt. Otherwise they would not have behaved this way. Nacha anyena Hanumata. See, so definitely Devi has been seen and definitely not by anyone else other than Hanuman. Now there is no evidence that it has to be Hanuman. Great people have gone. Jambavan has gone there, Angada has gone there, Hanuman has gone. All of them are capable. But just by hearing the news, Sugriva has no doubt that it has to be Hanuman who has done that. So, nacha anyena Hanumata, he says that. Why? Nahi anya sadhane hetuhu karmano asya Hanumataha. Other than Hanuman, nobody will be able to accomplish this. Karya siddhi Hanumati maticha haripungava. So, Sugriva is telling Lakshmana, he's like, this kind of Karya siddhi only exists in Hanuman. No, it does not exist in anybody else. Vyavasayascha viryam cha shrutam cha api pratishthitam. He has vyavasaya. Vyavasaya means ability to get things done in an organized way, the enthusiasm, the energy that is required. Viryam. Viryam, we know what that is, courage and ability to accomplish. Shrutam. Shrutam means knowledge and jnanam. He has the learning that is required. That is pratishtitam, established only in Hanuman. Okay. So here I sort of end this name. So the Capishwara, there is the aspect of this monkey who has accomplished something and they show their monkeyness in destroying the Vanam, but he does not get admonished. In fact, Dadimukha is shocked. He says, okay, don't worry, we'll take care of your Vanam. Ask Hanuman and the group to come here. We want to sort of felicitate them. So that is Capishwara. Next is Mahakaya. Capishwaro Mahakaya. Mahakaya means huge body. Right? So Hanuman or great body. Kaya means body. Kaya. Mahan means great, supreme, and so on. In the story, we hear Hanuman, the body becoming very small when he flies over the ocean, when he enters Lanka, when he talks to Sita, it is very small. In other cases, when he jumps, he becomes huge. Okay? So Mahakaya, he has that control over the body to sort of transform. This we see in the Vibhuti Pada. So here we have to recognize, as students of yoga, we have to recognize that there is yoga directly coming here when we say Mahakaya. In the Vibhuti Pada, we know Stula Swarupa Sukshma Anvaya Arthavatva Sanyamat Bhuta Jayaha. So for any Bhuta, we know Prithvi, Ap, Tej, Vayu, Akasha, we have heard that. There are 5 aspects, Stula, Swarupa, okay, Sukshma, Anvaya, Arthavatva. Now all of this, there is a lot of delineation required. We won't go into that. But just to know that there are multiple aspects to the Bhuta, these 5 aspects. And Sanyama is a technical term. That is a combination of Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. When that Sanyama happens, there is Bhuta Jayaha. There is mastery over the Bhutas. So essentially mastery over the material fabric of the world. Then what happens? Tato animadi pradurbhavaha kaya sampat tadharma anabhigatascha. So firstly, animadi pradurbhavaha. So there are Ashta Siddhis, Anima, Garima, Lagima, etc. So the Ashta Siddhi is evident in the fact that Bhuta Jaya, Ashta Siddhi, etc. is seen in Hanuman because he is able to sort of grow his body, shrink his body, etc. as required. And then Kaya Sampat. So Kaya Sampat in yoga, even in the Vibhuti Pada, I mean, because often we say, okay, body, physical, not so important, breath, prana, esoteric, highly important. Actually, they're all in the same plane as per Adhyatma, and divinity sort of pervades all of that. Okay, so there is Kaya Sampat coming from that. Mastery, the richness in the body. So now what is this Kaya Sampat? Again, one more sutra explaining what is Kaya, defining what is Kaya Sampat. Rupa Lavanya Balavajra Sammananatvani Kaya Sampat. Okay? So Rupa, Lavanya, Bala, Vajra. So all of this you can see in Hanuman. So when we hear the name Mahakaya or when we are reciting, immediately if these things come in our sort of the sphere of our thinking, that sort of sublimates the one who is reciting it. So that is how we have to build more and more background on depth on all of these names. So Capishwara Mahakaya, Sarvarogahara, that is the next name. Sarvarogahara Prabhu. Sarvarogahara. The meaning is clear. One who removes all the rogas, ailments, diseases, and so on. So we know, so Hanuman being an embodiment of pranayam, we know how pranayam can counter rogas. Yoga, in general, we say, okay, countering roga is a side effect that happens as part of yoga anyway. With the Vayu especially, it says, Yatra Yatra Dhruto Vayu Range Rogadi Dhushite. So wherever the Vayu is retained through pranayamic kriya in the body, Yatra Yatra Dhruto Vayu Range Rogadi Dhushite, where roga exists, Dharanad Eva Marutaha, merely by confining the Vayu in that place, Dharanad Eva Marutaha, Tattad Arogyam Ashnute. In those spots, Arogyam is attained, is reached. Okay? So Dharana Deva Maruta Tattad Arogyam Ashnute. If Hanuman we say is embodiment of pranayam, the Roga Haraha, that is directly implied. Okay? And we also, because as students of yoga, we sort of also need to know the mechanism and how it applies to yoga. There is another aspect of this Roga Hara. So Sugriva and Hanuman are said to be very good friends. Okay? So Sugrivena samam tvasya advaidam chidravarjitam. So their friendship is advaidam, without a second, chidravarjitam, without any holes. So there is a friendship without any holes or gaps. Abalyam sakyam, since the childhood. Abalyam sakyam abhavat anilasya agnina yatha. Just like Vayu and Agni are friends. If there is a big fire blaze and there is more wind, the fire roars more. Right? So Anila and Anala are said to be friends. Similarly, Sugriva and Hanuman were friends. Now, both of them are giving Arogyam. Because it is said, Sugriva is just like Hanuman is from Vayu, Sugriva is from Surya. Okay? Now the sun, Surya, is also directly associated with health. So it's Arogyam Bhaskara Dichet. So Arogyam should come from Bhaskara. So that's again an interesting stotra. I won't go into that. I'll just say it. Arogyam Bhaskara Dichet, Dhanam Ichet Hutashanat, Jnanam Maheshwara Dichet, Moksham Ichet Janardanat. Okay? So from which deity what you can get, it is said. So Arogyam from Surya, Sugriva, son of Surya, Arogya from Vayu through pranayam, Hanuman, son of Vayu, Sugriva and Hanuman, great friends of each other. So no question that Sarvarogahara is a grace that you will get from Hanumat Bhakti. In fact, if you look at some of the texts, like if you look at Yoga Yajnavalkya, wherever prana or vayu is mentioned, Agni is always mentioned in that text. Atmastham anilam vidyat, atmasthenaiva vannina. So any pranayamic kriya described there, it says the vayu associated with the vanni. Vanni means Agni. Okay? The vayu associated with the vanni will bring about the pranayamic kriya. Okay? So these are two things that are highly interrelated, even in the way we view our pranayamic kriya and way we understand it. We cannot separate the Vayu and Agni. They're both together. That is embodied in Sugriva and Hanuman. And that brings Arogya, Sarvarogahara Prabhu. And of course, the famous Buddhir Balam, Yasho Dhairyam, and so on from Hanuman. It says, Nirbhayatvam Arogata. Arogata comes from Hanuman. So Hanuman gives health. So that is the next name. So we saw Capishwara, Mahakaya, Sarvarogahara, and Prabhu. Now what is Prabhu? Prabhu is a normal, common word in Marathi, Hindi, other languages. Prabhu means Swami, Neta, Karya Sampada Shakti Yuta, says Sanskrit. So in Sanskrit there is always a very sort of precise definition. So Karya Sampada Shakti Yuta. So one who has the potency to get things done is a Prabhu. Okay? Now Hanuman, there is no doubt, throughout the Ramayana, any challenging situation, Hanuman gets things done. Whether it is finding Sita, whether it is fighting or helping Lakshmana when he is in swoon, right? Getting Sanjeevani. Any challenging situation, you want to get the karya to be done, it is Hanuman who comes. So he is sort of a one who can get that done, and also a leader. So there is an aspect of leadership quality. So I thought here I'll give a slightly different facet of that leadership quality rather than direct leadership. So here this is a case where in Ramayana, Rama and Sugriva, the Vanaras, have just met. Rama has lost his wife, Sita. He doesn't know where Sita is. So there is a friendship pact between Sugriva and Rama. And Rama helps Sugriva by killing Vali. Right? And now he expects that, okay, Sugriva will mobilize forces and start looking for Sita. But then suddenly there is a rainy season and Sugriva has been crowned the king. Sugriva doesn't do anything. So 1 month passes, 2 months passes, nothing is happening. Okay. Rama is patiently waiting. He is not entering Sugriva's kingdom because he is supposed to be in Vanavasa, so he cannot enter, so he is outside in a cave. 3-4 months, no message, no activity. So Lakshmana gets angry. He says, what is this? We did all this, we bestowed the kingdom to him. Now he is enjoying nicely, he has forgotten everything. What about his side of the bargain? And Lakshmana goes there and sort of nicely admonishes Sugriva very loudly. What are you doing? Have you forgotten? And this and that. Sugriva, being a king, naturally now he is also angry in return. And now it's a delicate situation. How is Sugriva going to react, right, when this happens? Now here Hanuman sees, okay, there is a need for wisdom. Right? So the Hanuman sort of steps in. And now he has to steer Sugriva. Sugriva is the king. In some sense, Sugriva is Hanuman's boss because Hanuman is a mantri. Hanuman doesn't know his powers because he has a curse. So he doesn't know all the powers that he has. Sugriva is his king. So he has to be handled delicately. So he says, "Oh Sugriva, these harsh words by Rama." So Rama does not directly utter those words. He sends those words through Lakshmana. He says, these harsh words uttered by Rama should be endured by you. Because see, after all, Rama is an anguished person. He has lost his wife. He's probably sad. And that is why he is talking this way. And furthermore, Rama has been very magnanimous in giving the kingdom to you. So, even if he is reproachful through another person. He sent Lakshmana there. Okay, so this is something first you have to endure. So, artasya rutudarasya parusham parushantarat. So, I will not quote all the verses, but essentially he says, firstly, he sort of takes ownership of the situation. He says, first hold on, you should endure this. And not because, he doesn't say because you are wrong. He says, see, after all, Rama is anguished. Okay, he has lost his wife, so understand that. And he gave you the kingdom after all. Then slowly, when Sugriva softens, he says, see, I don't see any other way for you because see, after all, the blunder is committed by you. He's been waiting for months. It is your blunder. So probably what you should do is seek pardon, okay, by joining your palms. So join your palms and seek pardon. Now this is a bit of a audacity coming from someone to the king. Right? So then he has to justify. He says, Niyuktaihi mantribihi vacho avashyam parthivo hitam ite eva bhayam tyaktva bravimi avadhrutam vachaha. A king, after all, is to be advised beneficially and unhesitatingly by the minister designates. Okay, so I am just doing my job. And that is why I am speaking like this, having discarded fear. Okay, so now, firstly he is saying, understand Rama, okay, don't take offense at his words. And he says, see, after all, you committed the mistake. And now he says, see, I made bold to speak like this to you, but that is my job, that is my duty, so that is why I am doing this. Right? And then he slowly sort of steps up the thing. He says, if Raghava is infuriated, he is capable of destroying the entire world. He can keep the world under his control. Gods, demons, Gandharvas, etc., just by joining the arrow to his bow. Okay, so now he is sort of saying slightly a threat also coming in. So therefore he says, Tasya murdha pranamyatvam saputra sasarujjanaha. So go there, bow down with your head, and not just you, along with your son, along with all your friends, go there. Rajan tishthasva samaye. O king, go there and go there soon in time. Bhartuhu bharya iva tatvashe. So he says, just like a wife would supplicate an angry husband, okay, out of love, but also by de-escalating the situation. Go there, O Sugriva, and do that. So this is a different kind of leadership, which is a wise leadership shown by him. See, one leadership is to command. So you can command people under you. But what if you are under another person and you still want to command? You have to do it delicately. And this Hanuman shows how he is able to do that through this. And then he says, Narama Ramanuja Shasanam Tvaya Kapindra Tektum Manasabi Apohitam. Even even in your mind, okay, you cannot not obey the command of Rama. Rama Ramanuja Shasanam Tvaya Kapindra, Lord of the monkeys, Yuktam, it is not appropriate. Manasapi Apohitam. Even from the mind, you should not think that, oh, you will not obey that. Manohite Gnasyati Manusham Balam. Your mind knows the Bala of Rama. Saragavasya Asya Surendra Varchasaha. He has the glow and glory of the Lord of the Celestials. So now you have to go and do it. So this was a sort of a make and break situation in Ramayana. And Hanuman, so it was a different kind of leadership. Sometimes it is known as servant leadership and so on, where he then channelizes the thing and Sugriva willingly goes. And then, you know, the rest of the Ramayana that happens. So that is Prabhu. Next, Bala Siddhikaraha. Okay, that is the next name, Bala Siddhikaraha. So what is Bala? Dehaja Samarthyam. Samarthyam, capability, born. So Bala is a specific term. Bala means capability is there, but the capability coming from the body. Dehaja Samarthyam is Bala. So that ensures success. Because it is not, the name is not just Bala, it is Bala Siddhikaraha. That Bala that ensures success and accomplishment in the task being taken. So that is the name. Now, of course, there are several examples of Bala Siddhikara. Hanuman has accomplished so many things. But I just thought, where does the term come from? In Ramayana again, after Hanuman sets fire to Lanka, okay, it is said that firstly the demons are confused. Who is this? This monkey coming and lighting fire. It's a glorious kingdom. Ravana, he has conquered all in Uttarakanda you see, he has conquered all the lords, he has conquered Indra, he has conquered Yama, and monkey is coming here and burning everything. Who is this? Okay, the celestials come there. Okay, the celestials come and see. And then they say, Tatastutam Vanara Veera Mukhyam Mahabalam Maruta Tulya Vegam. So that is where the Mahabala comes. Okay, so that is why the names are picked, Rushibhif Parigitani. So it is not randomly created names. They are always picked from some place. Here the Rishi is Valmiki, of course. Mahamatim. So celestials are Mahabalam, Maruta Tulya Vegam, Mahamatim. So very wise and intelligent. Vayusatam Varishtam. Pratushtavuhu Deva Ganascha Sarve. All the Devas happily said that. So that is where the Mahabala, Bala Siddhikaraha, that term comes from. Okay, so we are still continuing on the verse. The next name is Sarva Vidya Sampat Pradayakaha. So this is a sort of a long name. This is in Sanskrit, it is known as a Samasa Vrittam. Multiple terms can be combined together to form a big word. So Sarva Vidya Sampat Pradayakaha, who can give you accomplishments. Sampat is a difficult word to translate. It is something like richness, prosperity, accomplishment in the Vidyas. Okay? And he can give that for all the Vidyas. So we see Hanuman giving wisdom, Vidya in several cases. Last time I think I talked about the story of Bhima and Hanuman. How Bhima's ego was humbled by Hanuman. Here I'll probably narrate another story, not from Valmiki's Ramayana. But there is a story where Hanuman is a child. He is with his mother Anjana. Anjana sees Narada. Narada is a Deva Rishi. Okay? He is a great devotee of Vishnu. He has free access to all the worlds. He can go whenever he wants to Vaikuntha. He is saying Narayana, Narayana all the time. So Narada they see him, great Bhakta. Anjana says, that is Narada. He is a great Rishi and so on. Go seek his blessings. So then Hanuman is a child, slight reluctance, but he goes there. And he says, oh, Narada, please bless me. Narada says, see Hanuman, you have been blessed by everybody. Because there is a story, again I think I told you last time, when he got the name Hanuman, the story where he gets the name Hanuman, there Brahma commands all the gods, okay, Brahma, Indra, Kuvera, Vayu, Shiva, everybody bless Hanuman, right? So they give their own different blessings. So Narada says, you have blessings from everybody, what, how can I bless you? Hanuman remembers, Anjana had said, Narada sings very beautifully, devotionally. He says, okay, bless me with the ability to sing. So Narada says, fine, okay, I bless you, now let me go. So Hanuman says, no, wait, you have just blessed me, now listen to me sing, okay, and see whether I have received a blessing properly, okay. Now Narada says, no, see, I have to go to Vishnu and so on, no, wait, listen to me sing. He says, okay, the child is asking me. So Narada keeps his veena down, and Hanuman starts singing. Now they say Hanuman, when he sings, there is so much devotion that tears start flowing in everybody's eyes. Okay? Narada closes his eyes, he is immersed in devotion. Everybody's hearts start melting, it is said. But this is so much that even the rock on which they are sitting, the rock begins to melt. Okay? So Hanuman is singing, there is a pause. Then Narada sort of comes out of his immersed state. And Narada says, oh, okay, very nice. You have learned singing, now I have to go. Okay. Hanuman says, okay, go. Now Narada tries to pick up the veena. The veena is stuck in the rock. Because the rock has molten, the veena is stuck in the rock. Now he cannot remove the veena. Now Narada doesn't know what to do. Okay, Narada says, okay, finish your singing. You continue. I will sit here. So then Hanuman has to sing again so that the rock melts again. And only then he is able to pick up the veena and go further. So this is the vidya of music. I mean, that is one example that Hanuman has that vidya. But the other thing he does is he humbles Narada, because Narada is also said to be proud of his bhakti. Okay? But so this supreme bhakta, Hanuman is able to teach and very sweetly teach him a lesson. Okay, you may be the greatest bhakta, but here you were trapped and you could not go until I melted the thing, right? So there is humbling of Narada also done by Hanuman. So Sarva Vidya Sampat Pradayaka. So anywhere we need accomplishment, any kind of vidya, Hanuman is able to bestow that. So that covers this all the names in this verse. So now I think I'll go to the second one. We'll probably be able to cover this or half of this. So Kapi Senanayakascha Bhavishyat Chaturananaha Kumara Brahmachari cha Ratna Kundale Deeptiman. Okay? So these are the next names. So first is Kapi Sena Nayakaha. So here we bring the other type of leadership. Kapi Sena means the army of Vanaras, the army of monkeys. Kapi means monkey, Sena means army. Kapi Sena Nayaka means one who leads. Right? Nayati iti Nayakaha. So he is a leader of the Kapi Sena. Again, one instance in the Yuddha Kanda where the war is happening. There is an interesting story where Indrajit, he gets what is known as Maya Sita. So this is in the Valmiki Ramayana. He creates a Sita, not the real Sita, Sita out of Maya, and he kills and he says, see, she is dead already. Now everybody becomes sad. He says the war is lost, now what is the point? And that is where Hanuman steps in. Right? He says, oh monkeys, why have you lost the enthusiasm to fight? Kasmad Vishannavadana Vidravadvam Plavangamaha. Plavangamaha means monkeys. Why are you so depressed? Vishannavadana. Why have you lost the enthusiasm? And why are you looking sad and running away? Where has your valor gone? Okay, so this is a very clear case. Kapi Sena Nayaka, the general taking charge when the army has lost the faith and the energy. Shuraihi abhijanopetai ayuktam hi nivartitum. So if you are well trained, if you are courageous, it is ayuktam, it is inappropriate to go back. So he's saying, Prishtato anuvajradvam maam agrato yantamahave. So means in this battlefield, I will go in the front. Just follow me. Prishtato anuvajradvam maam agrato. I am in the front, you follow me. So here there is a case of Kapi Sena Nayaka leading from the front, particularly at a time where the entire army has lost heart. So he says, come closely behind me. I am marching ahead in the battle. So then it says, once Hanuman spoke this way, the delight comes into the Vanaras, then they seize the peak of the rocks and mountains and start hurling them about. So the war which could have been lost at that time, because Indrajit was very, very powerful. He is the one who captured Hanuman when he first visited Lanka. He is the one who made Rama and Lakshmana unconscious and so on. So it was again a critical stage, and Hanuman sort of rescues. So Kapisena Nayakaha. Next, Bhavishyat Chaturananaha. Chaturanana means one with 4 faces. Brahma, the creator. Incidentally, Brahma is like a position. Like we say Prime Minister, President and so on. Brahma, Indra are said to be positions. So Hanuman is said to be a future Brahma. It is said the next Brahma, Hanuman is going to become the next Brahma. So that is his greatness, because Brahma is known as Pitamaha. All the Indra and all the lords, whenever they need advice, they go to Brahma. So Hanuman is said to have the capability to do so. So in Uttarakanda, Agastya, he tells Rama, Sarvasu vidyasu tapo vidhane praspardate yohi gurum suranam. See, in all the vidyas, in all the tapa, in all the deeds that need to be done, one who competes with the guru of the devas, with Brihaspati. Hanuman has that capability. Soyam navavyakrana arthavetta. This is again interesting. Repeatedly it is said in the Ramayana that Hanuman is a master of Vyakaranam. Vyakaranam means language and grammar. And see the importance that ancient thought ascribes to language, articulation, precise use of words, how the disambiguation, ojas, the ability to capture the heart through language, etc. So even here it is said, Soyam Nava Vyakarana Arthaveta, the 9 Vyakaranas, he knows all of them. Brahma Bhavishyatyapi Te Prasadat. He will become the Brahma through your grace. So he is telling the Rama. Rama, of course, is the Supreme Lord. So any being who has to become a Brahma, it will be through the grace of the Supreme Lord. So he is going to become the Brahma. So Hanuman has that greatness, Bhavishyat Chaturananaha. Next is Kumara Brahmachari. Kumara means young child. He is a Brahmachari, as we all know, since childhood. Now Brahmachari is one, of course it is one who doesn't enter the Grahastha Ashramaha, so who is celibate and so on. But also Brahmani Charya. He lives in Brahman. He lives in learning. He lives in Veda. So Brahmani Charya is the definition of who is a Brahmachari. And in again Yoga Sutra we know Brahmacharyat Viryam. Right? We know Yama Niyamas. So Brahmacharyam is in Brahmacharyat Viryam. So that comes, that yogic ability comes through that. Now, so even a Grahastha, okay, if they follow the rules of the Shastra, the term Brahmachari can be applied, because Brahmani Charya, so it is Brahmachari. Often one wonders that sometimes when a couple doesn't have a child, they go to Hanuman. If it's a Brahmachari, how can he do so, right? But he has the ojas, he has the teja, Brahmacharya Viryam. So whatever he says, or whatever the grace comes, it has the power to overcome all obstacles. Therefore, any kind of need can be sort of addressed or solved. Any problem, Sankata Mochana we know, can be solved by Hanuman. Now there is another sort of a humorous thing. There is a Lokoktihi. Lokoktihi means it is a term used in the world. It's a Brahmachari Shatamarkataha. So a young child, a Brahmachari, it is like 100 monkeys. Okay, that is the headache, having a young energetic child. Right? So Brahmachari Shatamarkataha. That aspect also Hanuman has shown. Okay, because when he was a child, he was a great headache to everybody around him. Okay, that is, again it comes up in the Uttarakanda, because he had a blessing that no weapon can hurt him, no Brahma Danda. So that is a specific blessing he had from Brahma. See, all these rishis have this stick. It is known as Brahma Danda, and that has the spiritual power. But he had the blessing, no Brahma Danda can hurt him. So he used to go and trouble all the rishis all the time as a child. Okay? And he had the power that, and that is why he was later cursed. He said, you will forget all your powers. Okay? So he had, as a child, he embodied that whole Brahmachari Shatamarkataha. He had the nuisance of 100 monkeys as a Kumara Brahmachari. And the last one here is Ratna Kundala Deeptiman. So again, this is not in Valmiki Ramayana, but it is said he was born with a pair of earrings, okay, lustrous earrings, and a sacred thread, of course. And it signified his status as somebody who knew the Brahma Vidya. Okay? Because having the sacred thread, etc., is said to, you are studying and you know the Brahma Vidya. Now it was said that, again one of the variants of Ramayana, that is invisible, but only visible to his master. And in that story, Rama, when he meets Hanuman, he comments on the earrings. He says, oh, beautiful lustrous earrings. And that is when Hanuman finds out, oh, this is my master, right? This is Rama. So that is how through spiritual sort of wisdom, he is recognized. Okay, I think the time is up. We're hardly able to cover 2 stanzas. But hopefully it is better to spend the time on the names rather than rushing through the names. Okay? But this also gives you the beauty of it is known as Swara Swam. Okay? Whenever any Shastra is to be learnt, the Swara Swam has to be grasped. If that is not done, then it is a very academic sort of an exercise, and then it doesn't the samskaras are not created in the language of yoga. Okay. So I think somehow similar to last time, the way I had ended, there is one shloka about Hanuman that we'll end with. So it is said, Parakramotsaham atipratapa saushilya madhurya nayanayascha gambhirya chaturya suvirya dhairyaihi Hanumata kobhyadikosti loke. Okay, so what does Hanuman have? Parakrama, the ability to accomplish things. Okay. Now see, when I go through this, there is another person, right, with this same qualities, right, that we were witness to, Guruji. Okay. So now if you think of this, all of these characteristics, you will see they directly apply to Guruji also. Okay. Parakrama. The nature of huge, unbelievable accomplishments. Okay. Para utsaha, unbounded enthusiasm and energy. Parakramotsaham atipratapa. So firstly there is pratapa. The pratapa also has this aspect of energy coming from tapas. Okay. Atipratapa means beyond that. Again Guruji we can see, right? We can see all around us, we can see wherever whoever encountered him. So parakrama, utsaha, I mean, nobody remembers Guruji saying, I am bored, not right now. He never said that. Right? So parakrama, utsaha, atipratapa, saushilyam. Saushilyam is easy to approach. Okay? Mild-mannered. So he was easy to approach. So many people have spoken to him in the library and so on. And of course, Hanuman, saushilyam. Madhurya, sweetness, a childlike sweetness. Okay? Saushilya madhurya nayanayascha. Nayanaya means knowing the niti. So there is something like niti shastra. Niti shastra means conduct in worldly matters in some sense. Right? So somewhat similar to ethics and morality and these things. So the do's and don'ts. So knowing the nayanaya, Hanuman had that. Parakramotsaham atiprata. And we saw that in the example story of Sugriva that I just told you. Saushilya madhurya nayanaya ischa. Gambhirya. So Gambhirya means gravity, the words carrying weight. Okay? That same Gambhirya, even in Guruji, his words, I mean, needless to say, even his manner when he is talking about some serious aspect, okay, something that needs attention, Gambhiryam. Chaturya, wittiness, the ability to connect, the ability to, so the manoharatvam, right, to steal the, manohara means to draw the mind, right? To attract the mind. So so chaturya is that wittiness in the words. Hanuman did this in the very first meeting with Rama. So first time he comes there, he asks, who are you two? You are looking so strong like kings, but you are wearing clothes like you are nobody. So who are you? But the way he talks, Rama only notices the purity of his speech. Okay? And that is what Rama praises. So Gambhirya, Chaturya, Suvirya, Dhairya. So we know Virya and Dhairya, courage and bravery. So I don't have to go into that. But Suvirya means Virya in the right place, in the right form. Suvirya Dhairya ihi Hanumata kobhya dikosti loke. Who is better than Hanuman in that? That is that verse. So we'll end with that today, with that in mind. Hopefully our chitta has also taken a certain shape, which makes the Rajatamo gunas fall off. There is some Vishuddhi. As we say, Smriti Parishuddhau, it says in the yoga. So that Smriti Parishuddhi should happen when we sort of listen to this. And we also have our example of Guruji more close at hand. Right? See, again in the Yoga Sutra, in the Chitta Parikarma, it says Vitaraga Vishayam Chittam, right? So, Vitaraga Vishayam Va Chittam. So, if the Chitta is submerged in some topic, some subject, which does not have any desire and so on, the Chitta becomes pure. So, here if we submerge or immerse our Chitta in thoughts of Hanuman, in thoughts of even Guruji, and these aspects, especially, the Chitta becomes pure, and that we are doing the Chitta Parikarma as part of that. So here's how we should relate to say Sahasranamam, Ashtotara Shatanamam, etc. And in that mindset, it is to be recited and understood. Okay. So with that, we'll end. There are many more names. I don't know how we'll cover, when we'll cover, but for now, today we stop. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I would now invite Prashant G to unveil the Hanuman Jayanti edition of Yoga Rahasya.
So, namaskar, all of you. So it's a great pursuit to know our icon of Jnanis, Bhaktas, Yogis, and it is best revealed by going through the namas. So namas are rendered into English as names. Which becomes a blunder. Nama has correspondence to substrate, object. The names given to us are conventions and sanketika. Somebody's name might be Rama, but by behavior he could be Ravana. The parents give us our names. The names have nothing to do with our avatar, our manifestation, our characteristics. But when it comes to concept of namas, it's totally a different concept. It corresponds to substrate, corresponds to objective substrate, corresponds to meaning and manifestation. So, Hanuman would be best comprehended by going through his namas rather than just stories about Hanuman. That's how it commences. As children, we try to read stories that are about Hanuman. But we will not realize what Hanuman was essentially unless we go through the namas. And therefore, it's very laudable that we are trying to understand Hanuman through namas. Those are not 108 names. So nama is a different concept for which you will not get any word in any other language. So just as you heard just now, the creation when it got launched, Nam Rupa came together. In human creations, we also create, human beings create so many things, what we call as inventions. And so before the invention, the thing was not existing. So some name is given. Like in nuclear physics, a particle is called boson. It has nothing to do with the intrinsic character of the particle. It is because of of a Bose. We should be proud about our Indian scientists. The name was given to that particle, boson, because Bose was pioneer or spearheading force to identify that subatomic particle. So name was given for something which was already there in nuclear physics. So these were not names or accolades given to Hanuman. Some great people also get some accolades and they are names. But he was personification of each of the nama. Now for instance, my name is Prashant, but no one will agree and accept that I am personification of Prashantata. I might be bang opposite and I am bang opposite. I concede. Because I cannot claim that, because all of you will not corroborate. If I say I am incarnation of peace, I am personification of peace, you will say nonsense. So the nama is best way to really understand what we are supposed to understand in our spiritual pursuit. And then Hanuman, we end up, because of the present situation, like the West says he is a monkey god. So Hanuman has become monkey. Actually he is Va-Nara. Nara means human. So the etymologists will tell you, Panini will tell you, Paninians will tell you what is Va-Nara. So he was personification of all those qualities we might be seeking in spiritual pursuit. Shama, Dhamma, Titisha, Uparati, Jnana, Vairagya, Shanti, Samadhan, or certain noble qualities. He was the incarnation of all those. Therefore, in our times, it is said, the two deities are more popular than the absolute. Because some people will say Shiva is Paramatattva. Some people will say Narayana is Paramatattva. Vishnu is Paramatattva. Shiva is Paramatattva. And in our times, after post-Ramayana, Hanuman was devotee of Rama, Rama Bhakta, but now it is estimated that maximum shrines are dedicated to Hanuman and Ganesha. Ganesha was, son of Shiva, more than Shiva temple. Now Shiva is said to be absolute. Shiva Tattvam is Brahma Tattvam. Narayana Tattvam is Brahma Tattvam. But Hanuman being Rama Sevaka, left behind the divinity for mankind. So we see more people throng to temples of Hanuman and Ganesha than temples of Shiva and Vishnu. That's the greatness of a devotee. The devotee becomes larger figure than the devoted entity. That is because of the quality of devotion, the grade of devotion Hanuman had. In Hanuman Rahasya it comes, he wanted to subserve Rama. Why not take a human form and subserve Rama? Why did he opt for seemingly subhuman form to subserve Rama? Like we have, all of us have servants in our house. We don't keep subhumans as servants. We keep humans as servants. We want the humans to subserve us. Why is it that the subservient of Rama was subhuman? Because one of the rahasya divulged, he was personification of Vairagya in order that there should be no taint, no eclipse to his Vairagya while in his manifestation. He opted to be in subhuman form. Because suppose a human master has human servant, the servant will sometimes develop cherish for what the master is wearing, the clothes of master, the chappals of master, the shoes of masters. So we have our eyes on human outfits and human possessions. Now that should not happen, and therefore he opted to be Va Nara rather than just be Nara. So that his eyes will not fall on what Rama is possessing, what Rama is wearing, what are the belongings of Rama. Usually our servants have a desire for what masters possess. They say in Western countries, even servants come to your house in a car. But then if servant is coming through a car which is just something like Maruti, 400,000, 500,000, 600,000, the master will be possessing a car which would be multi-billion, multi-trillion rupees worth of car. So he will always have the eyes on the car of master, that I have got an ordinary car and my master has a limousine. So the master is wearing some clothes. So it would come in his mind, I should be having it as well. And perhaps he will tell the master, in case if you discard for any reason, please give it to me. If you abandon or discard for any reason, please give it to you. Give me your coat to me. Give me your footwear. Or give me whatever you are wearing, ornaments, etc. If you want to part with, please keep me in mind. Now, such things should not happen And therefore he took the form of Vanara and not just Nara. And by being subservient to Sri Rama, you know what is going to become to Hanuman? Hanuman is Chiranjeevi. And because he is going to be living that long, when Rama is granting boons to all those who were around him, who helped him, served him, assisted him, so he comes to Hanuman. What can I offer? What can I give to you? So he says, I do not want anything. As long as the sun and moon are there, I just want to hear the glory of you. So anyone relating the story of Sri Rama, it is believed that Hanuman is present there. Because he wants to hear the glory of Rama, because he knows he is Chiranjeevi. So I know your incarnation, avatar will end and you will depart from here, you will go to Saketa Dhama. I don't want to come with you. I want to hear your glory. And that is going to continue as long as sun and moon are in the sky. And therefore, whenever there is Rama Katha, Hanuman is said to be present there. It can be any Tom, Dick and Harry. But Rama Katha has such a value. Who gives the Rama Katha, who speaks the Rama Katha is not important. Rama Katha becomes important and Hanuman makes it a point to be present there. So whenever there is a Rama Katha, there is a seat kept vacant. There is a seat kept vacant, knowing that Hanuman is going to be present. So he is going to listen to the story of Rama until what? As long as sun and moon are there. Then what is going to be happening to Hanuman? It is said that he will be the next person in queue to become Brahma. So he will become Brahma, the creator deity of the universe. Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh, the Trinity, you know, the Brahma. He is going to be the next Brahma. And until he assumes the tenure, he is going to engage himself in just Rama Katha, Rama Smaranam, Rama Nama. So for such a long life, endless life that he is going to have, he doesn't cherish for anything, huge estate, property behind me because I've got a long life, I want to lead a comfortable life. He doesn't say, please write down some property in my name because I'm going to be living so long. He says, everything is Ram Katha for me. So try to understand the degree of dispassion that he had. Now when is the tenure of next Brahma commencing? You should calculate. The Kalparambha, this is the Kalpa, one of the Kalpas. And it is now 1,960 million years. There is a total of 8,640 million years for Kalpa to end. After the Kalpa ends, next Kalpa will come. And the kalpas after kalpas will be coming until the Brahma's tenure of 100 years is completed. So Brahma is 51 years old today. Brahma is only 51 years old, another 49 years of his tenure. So understand, 49 into 8.64 billion years is the waiting time. And he's just going to wait with Rama Smaranam, Rama Nama, Rama Katha Shravanam. And therefore there is a beautiful composition, Pibare Rama Rasam. Drink the Rama Rasam. He is going to drink the Rama Rasam for all those years. So to give you a little idea, maybe I have not prepared the mathematics here. How long it will be for the 100 years of Brahma to end, for Hanuman to become next Brahma. So I will give you a vague idea about it. It will be something like 3.11 trillion years. That long he is going to wait. He is going to just subsist on Rama Rasam. Otherwise you people want every day different rasam. If you prepare the same rasam next day, the husband and the family members will be making noise. Why you are giving the same rasam? But he is going to do that. So understand what is Rama Rasam for him. What is Rama Rasam essentially, quintessentially, which is going to keep him going for that waiting period, which is trillions and trillions of years. Hanuman is not only Ashtanga Siddha, Yoga Siddha. One of the names in his Sahasranama, because there are many people who are accomplished. So there are yogis who are accomplished. But he is not merely accomplished at par excellence. One of the namas, Ashtanga Yoga Phala Pradayaka. He is the one who is going to give fruits of Ashtanga Yoga. He is not only master of Ashtanga Yoga, he is Ashtanga Yoga Phala Pradayaka. He is one of his namas which comes in Sahasranama of Hanuman. And therefore understand how important is Hanuman for us. You just now heard the leadership that Hanuman had. It's not leadership by superiority, by commanding, demanding, etc., etc. So Hanuman was not commander-in-chief of the Rama's army, but yet he was the commandant. And therefore in yoga, we must give the role, spearheading role, to prana within us, the vayu within us, pavana within us. It's not that we should do it. We have to see that he becomes, prana is something, he was a commander-in-chief of the Rama's army, not in a position, but being a prana. Prana is everything for everyone. And therefore in yoga culture, yogic culture, the spearheading role is given to Vayu. And he is Vayu Putra. In one of the Shanti mantras you come across, Vayu refer to Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahmasi. Vayu. Other devatas are there. But Vayu is said to be Pratyaksha Brahma. Vayu means not the air. So Vayu is Pran, Vayu is Pavana. Vayu is that form of energy and not a matter. We know only Vayu matter. But if there is a matter, behind the matter there is inframatter, behind the inframatter there is supramatter, behind the supramatter there is transmatter. And therefore in yoga, the lead role is to be given by even we neophytes to breath and breath awareness. Breath awareness, breath activities. We should open out the field for prana to work in yoga, not we work in yoga. So Hanuman, you can now imagine being son of Vayu or son of Prana Devata. He was immanently there in entire army of Sri Rama. He was immanently there, and therefore they all did what they did. If the prana is removed from you, will you do what you are doing? That is what the entity of prana is. He was the prana of entire army of Ram. He was not commander-in-chief of the army, but he was prana, as a prana devata. He was immanently there in entire army of Rama, and therefore the marvel that they did. So anyway, more we hear about Hanuman, much remains to be heard. The more you hear about Hanuman, much remains to be heard. So be prepared for that. Namaskar. Thank you. So here is the Yoga Rahasya, the Hanuman Jayanti issue. It's a very relevant, beautiful cover. And the back of it, Hanuman Asan. Hanuman in the cover, Hanuman in the back cover, Hanuman Asan in back cover, and the shloka on Hanuman, which you recited, Manojam Martutulya Vegam. So well conceived cover, design, and I am sure the content too. I have just now opened, so I do not know the contents. I want you to know the contents. Thank you. Goodbye.